And now, breaking news in the world of football, Borussia Dortmund hire Boland. Dortmund have today confirmed the appointment of Stuart Boland as the club's new manager. Eyebrows have been raised in the world of football at the appointment of the 29-year-old, who has recently spent time away from club football and is sure to face plenty of questions when he faces the media for the first time at Signal Iduna Park. Boland has put pen to paper on a 3-year deal worth £28,500 a week. He replaces the previous manager, Edin Terzic. Boland lacks the reputation of a title specialist, which, given the club's current ambitions, creates an intriguing dynamic as they intend to challenge for major honours. Alright, Dortmund, calm down. Hi guys, and welcome to Stubo FM. I'm Stubo. Thank you very much for joining me on the first video of my first ever YouTube save. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy it. It is a save with Dortmund, and the main aim of it is to win trophies, basically. The main one is the Champions League. We're going to try and do that within 3 seasons. I don't know whether we're going to be able to do it, but we're going to give it a go. We have got a decent team. Maybe I'll be able to add to it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll soon find out. Hopefully I've not set myself too difficult a challenge. I'm basing this off the fact that I won the Champions League with Aston Villa in 2 seasons over on Twitch. So I'm hoping that with a team like Dortmund, I can do it a little bit quicker than that. Who knows? Football Manager can be a cruel mistress sometimes. This is probably going to be the second video on the channel. The first one will be from Twitch. It will have been that Champions League final with Aston Villa. So if you haven't already watched that, I would go over there and I talk a little bit about what I'm planning to do on the channel. The main thing is just Football Manager videos. I'm planning to do Football Manager saves, not necessarily tutorials and things like that, because full disclosure, I'm not that good at that kind of stuff. So I would much rather stick to what my strengths are, and at the moment, I enjoy playing the game itself and just doing saves. Hopefully you guys enjoy watching that as well. Fingers crossed, we'll have a lovely, lovely time together, and it will be winning stuff as well. That's the hope, that's the plan. Whether that works or not, I don't know, but we'll soon find out. So Dortmund, let's go. As you can see, we have already been welcomed to the club with this lovely, lovely email that kind of talks a little bit smack about us as well. Not that I'm bitter, but, you know, could be a little bit more grateful. I took the job. There's obviously no one else interested, let's be honest with you. So we have been appointed, full disclosure, I'm not 29 in real life, I'm 31 now. I quite like to be 29 again, if that's okay. So we've got some players in the last year of our contract. I can sort that off screen, that's no problem. I don't think there's any massive players in here. The biggest one is probably Paslak, but Paslak's past it, I think. Never mind, he's only 22. I thought he was older than that. Maybe he's not past it, but he's certainly not really that good, if we're being completely honest. Certainly not for Borussia Dortmund. So, Pizjak, he's probably the one who's past it at 35, but I don't really want to let him go because I feel like he's been around forever, and that'd be a bit harsh. But we've got a bunch of emails here that I'm going to clear through, and once I've done that, we'll meet the boys. So, as you can see, I've got the player screen up and we've sorted it by current potential. So, as you can see, we've got a number of pretty decent players. These guys are really going to be the superstars of the team. Erling Haaland, obviously. I mean, look at him. Just look at him. Look at that face. Look at that face. Like butter wouldn't melt. He looks like a naughty school kid. I mean, he effectively is that. 20 years old. It's disgraceful. It's disgraceful someone can be allowed to be 20 years old and I'm not. But very good player. We are certainly going to be doing our best to hold on to this chap because he is excellent. I've never actually used him on Football Manager, but he's certainly played against me a few times and he's ripped me apart. So I'm not necessarily envious of the rest of the world who have to play us because we've got him. The next best player apparently is Emre Can. I dispute that really, if I'm being honest with you, but still good option. Then we've got players like Julian Brandt, Marco Reus, Rafael Guerreiro, Hummels, Sancho, Witsel, and even below that we've got a bunch of players at 3-star who are at least capable of putting in good performances and helping us to achieve our goals. Beyond that, well, it gets a little bit weaker, but we have got a lot of potential in some of these players. Gio Reyna, Jude Bellingham, Ranier from Real Madrid. I don't know why he's on loan at Dortmund for this season. I'm assuming he was in real life. It seems like a weird one to me. We do have a few old men. Not a lot of them, but we do have a few. So we've got 6 of them, and 3 of them at the very least, possibly 4, you could count Pijak, are heavily involved in the first team. So we do need to freshen things up a little bit. If we don't have the ability to do that, I'm content with the team that we've got, to be honest with you. I think that there are a number of good players here who can do good things for us. We do also have a few good prospects in Dortmund 2 and under-19s. We've got one in the Dortmund 2, which, yeah, fine, okay, that's okay. But in the under-19s, however, we have got a few absolute bangers. Sergio Gomez is on loan at the moment. He is on loan at Huesca. And then we've got Jamie Bueno Gittens, 16 years old, English player. Then we've also got Namdi Collins, who I've actually used in another save off of cameras and stuff. But I've used him well in the future when he's actually developed, and he did develop into a world-class central defender, and he was excellent for me, so I'm glad that we've got him. And if you play Football Manager and you like going after the Wonder Kids, you probably know this guy. Yusufa Makoko. This guy could be incredible, so we are going to do our best to try and get him to the point where he is usable for us. Obviously, he's 15 years old. We're only going to be doing this for 3 seasons, maybe 4 at a push. I highly doubt that we'll be using him too much until the 3rd or maybe 4th season. But as you can see, we have got a decent amount of depth in the under-19s. Dortmund 2, we won't talk about anymore. But I think this is a good starting point. I'm going to have a look through some of the players, see if there's any that we want to move on and try and generate some funds to bring in better players for. I'm going to try and identify where the weakest points are. And most importantly, I'm going to look at our tactics and see what type of system we're going to play. Gee, I wonder what system I'm probably going to play at Borussia Dortmund. I wonder. Okay, so here we've got the starting 11 that I've cobbled together along with the tactic. You will be surprised to no ends that it is a gegenpress. I've modified it a little bit. I've not really done a lot to it, to be honest with you. I've not put any player instructions on yet either. I might do a couple. I've got this tactic set up, and I think this is what we're going to mainly go with. I've just realised these two are in the wrong place. I'll swap those two around. I want Voice playing in behind the striker. I just want to give it a go. Brandt on the right, I'm not convinced about, but we'll give it a go. But this is the primary 11 that we're going to be going with for the season, I think, unless we make any changes. We have also set up a second tactic, just a bit more defensive. I say that, and you should be on support. There we go, which obviously requires a little bit of shifting around to get to there, and then that's about perfect. That's exactly what I would like. Possibly put these guys back on a more defensive tactic. Anyone who's watching me on Twitch will know why I'm defaulting to this shape, because I call it the God tactic on Twitch. It's how we won the Champions League. There are gaps, and there are things that we are, if we can, going to address in the transfer window. So as it stands, we are missing a top quality central defender as cover for Akanji and Hummels. Zagadou is decent, but we probably don't really want to just rely on him. We need a solid 3-star cover defender, in my opinion, and a backup striker. We don't necessarily need someone who can come in and challenge Haaland. We just need someone who can go into the team if Haaland is unavailable for whatever reason. Right wing, maybe we do need a right winger. Maybe we get rid of Renier out of here. Maybe they're the 3 positions. I think everywhere else we're fine. We've at least got bodies for. I'm thinking we prioritise these positions this season, and next season when we get a bigger transfer budget to start, we can have a look at properly adding to this team. But I do think this is what we need to improve on right now if we're going to get anywhere this season. In fact, I've just thought I didn't show you this, did I? So this is what the club are expecting of us this season. So attacking football, youth system, under the age of 18 for the future, entertaining football, sign players from domestic rivals. I did try and remove that, but they were having none of it. Sign players under the age of 23 for the first team. Don't sign players over the age of 30. Sign German players. So these two here, to me, sound like Wonder Kid o'clock. Don't sign old men, sign kids who you can play immediately. I'm fine with both of those. They only want us to qualify for the Champions League, which surprises me. I would have expected them to want us to challenge for the league, but they haven't. They do, however, prefer if we get to the final of the Pokal. They don't really give a toss about the Super Cup, and they want us to get to the quarterfinal of the Champions League. I think the Champions League is much harder than qualifying for the Champions League in the league. I think actually getting to the quarterfinals is much harder, so we'll see what happens. They also want us by the end of this season to develop the best youth system in the country. They don't want much, do they? They really don't want much on that one. What is the current youth setup looking like? Facilities, so they've got excellent recruitment, good academy coaching, superb. So we can improve a little bit on that, but we're nearly there. Let's be completely honest, we're nearly there. In terms of the finances, we've got 13 million, nearly 14 million in the transfer kitty, and we've got we've got a bit of wiggle room, about 200,000, somewhere in that region. So we've got some money that we can spend. We can hopefully generate a little bit more. I do need to go through this squad and see if there's anyone I actually want to ditch and get rid of. I've already put Marcel Schmelzer on the transfer list because I immediately decided he was going to be someone who we are not going to use. We have got an awful lot of players on loan who are on loan until the end of next season. If I can recall any of them and move any of the ones who we're not going to use on, such as Marius Wolf, maybe this guy, a couple of the younger ones, I will try and do that as best as I can, but chances are I won't be able to. So we'll have to work with what we've got here, and hopefully we can move one or two of them on and hopefully bring some other players in. Hopefully, maybe, please. So we're still scouting around for some players, and we're still waiting to hear back from a couple of offers that we've both made on players and that we've had come in on players. I think you can probably see one or two things that are going on just on the inbox, but we've come to the point where we have to introduce ourselves to the squad. So currently the dressing room atmosphere is very good. We've got average managerial support, understandable. We've just moved to the club, so that kind of makes sense. So we're just going to jump in and say hi to everyone. So the captain is Marco Reus, vice captain is Matt Hummels. Is it that way around? Yeah, I think it's that way around. So we're just going to say this one. Wanted to take the opportunity to introduce myself to you as the new Dortmund manager. It's hard for that to go wrong, really. Are we going to make any promises? I feel like it's not worth it. Jadon Sancho's not very happy, probably because he wants to leave for Manchester United. The board wants us to qualify for the Champions League. That's what we're going to say to them, and they're okay with that. That really surprises me. I would have thought that would have been higher, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. So we'll say that's exactly the sort of reaction. We'll pump the fists as well, and we'll also be aiming to reach the latter stages of the Champions League. Marco Reus agrees. Pump those fists. Happy days. We'll say we're getting to the final of that. Marco Reus agrees. Happy days. And code of conduct. Yeah, no one really gives a toss. I won't show you the code of conduct because, let's be honest, it's a little bit boring, really. But we'll say that. And I think that went about as well as it could have done. Yeah, everyone's happy. Look at all of the happy little faces. Look at that. Oh, and some of them were downright miserable when we started, and we've made them all really, really happy. That has got to be seen as a result. Dortmund training camp squad. So we have got a training camp in Germany. That's excellent. So let's just highlight everyone except for Marius Wolf, and we'll do that. And then we'll add a couple of the youngsters in. That's the wrong things to do. That'll do. That'll do. I'm very, very happy with just those players. We don't need anyone else. Thank you very much. Confirm. Happy days. Sorted. Now let's hopefully see if we can get some transfers done. Well, it certainly wasn't a vintage performance, but we won, at least, in our first friendly. I suppose at this point it doesn't really matter how we win, as long as we win. The playing style will come the more games that we play, but I would have liked to have won more than with just one goal, to be honest with you. But we'll take what we can get. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. It's fine. Hopefully it's fine. Second friendly down, and that is much more like it. 12-0. Lovely, lovely stuff. That is what we like to see. Marco Reus scoring goals for fun. Erling Haaland, Jadon Sancho, Julian Brandt. I'll take that. Happy days. Hopefully we can continue doing that kind of stuff when the league begins. That would be delicious. Now, this might be a bit of a controversial one, I will admit, but we have sold Thomas Delaney. Now, he is one of the better midfielders at the club when you start the game. I will admit that. However, looking at the team, let's have a look at that view. That's going to be a better one. Chan and Witsel are going to be our starting midfield pairing, and beyond him we've got Dahoud and Thomas Delaney. Now, Dahoud is 24 years old and has never really established himself. Thomas Delaney is 28, but we do also have Jude Bellingham. Now, we are looking to bring a winger into the club, and at the moment the only place Jude Bellingham would be playing with Delaney here is out wide or in the attacking midfield role. I don't think he's best there. Personally, I like Jude Bellingham in the middle. I've used him before when he's developed. He's a great player in the middle. This is a move to get Jude Bellingham more game time so he can fully blossom and develop into the footballer that we know he can be. So while I know some people will look at this deal and think, why on earth are you selling him? He's 28 years old. We've got him for about his value. We've sold him for about his value, not got him for about his value. We're letting him go for money. And that money, 30 million of it, is now... Well, it's not into the club because I need to continue one more. Now, it is in the club. Bang, there we go. And we've got a bit more wage budget free as well. So we can actually go out and spend that money on a player of some actual substance. Speaking of which, we are still waiting for a deal to come through. Turns out it hasn't. Well, that's annoying because that's the deal I wanted to end the episode on. We were loaning in Riyad Mahrez. We are now not loaning in Riyad Mahrez. So, I need to go back to the drawing board and try and work out who's the winger instead. Okay, potential new plan on the right winger we're going to bring in. We're going to still try and bring someone in on loan. And the first person I'm looking at is someone who is interested in a transfer, and that is Ansu Fati. Would Barcelona be willing to let him come to... No, okay, fine. Well, that's absolutely fine. We don't need him. We can have someone else. We can have Kingsley Coman. He's at Bayern Munich, so they won't let him come. We could have... Well, we have money, so we could just spend some money, couldn't we? We could spend some money on someone like Adama Traore, for example. He's quick. Let's be honest, he'll be a backup option. Whoever this transfer is would be a backup option. Angel Correa, worth 33 million. I mean, he's not brilliant. He used to be very, very good on FIFA, I remember, but probably not the transfer that we need to be making right now. Oh, God. I was really hoping that we'd get Riyad Mahrez, because I haven't used Riyad Mahrez in FM. We could sign Hirving Lozano, perhaps? Wanted by Manchester United. We could get in there first. Is he any good? He doesn't look bad at all, actually. He's right-footed, so we'd play him on this side. More as a winger, I would suggest. Might just put a cheeky offer in and see what they reckon. What does his agent want? What does his agent say? 39 and 52. Well, we don't have that. So how about instead of that, we go 10 million and we whack a few instalments on. What about this? What about 40 million and you can have 10% of the profit if we sell him in the future? Okay. You're willing to negotiate. I can respect that. Let's try that. Let's go for that. Not quite. What about that? It's more than ideally I'd want to pay. It would leave us with less than 10 million in a transfer budget. However, we have got a reasonable wage budget at the moment, so he would be decent. He would be decent, and he has got potential to grow. Is he 50 million's worth of player? I don't know whether he is. We're going to say yes to it for now, but we can always pull out of it later on if we feel like that is a poor transfer. And I might decide later on that it is indeed a poor transfer. Could we loan Pedri in? Ooh, now then. Could we loan Pedri in? No. I thought this was going to be easy. Turns out it's really not. And I'm sad. And I don't know who I'm going to sign. Help. We didn't end up going for Hirving Lozano because he wanted upwards of £200,000 a week, there or thereabouts. And also, he wanted loads of promises. And I might give you one promise, but I ain't giving you a load. So that was it. He was out the door. He was gone. None of that nonsense. So instead, we're looking at Francisco Trincao. He's very, very young. He's very, very talented. He is a wonder kid. And again, this is a backup player. So my thinking is, let's bring him into the club. And if he does well, we might try and get him next season. Certainly don't want to play all of his wages if we can help it. So I'm going to try and lock that in. I'm also going to try and change him to a squad player and see what happens. And this is going to work out beautifully, I think. Let's see if we can put 100 in. And, I mean, you know, you're splitting hairs here. Barca. There we go. That'll do lovely. So hopefully, Francisco Trincao is going to be in the club. Hopefully. There's another player out the door, Felix Passlack. £1.9 million. It was his value. We just let him go. We decided to get him off the books both with some transfer money and also to get that wage money back so we can reinvest it into the squad. So he was never going to get used, so good luck, Felix. All the best at, was it Wolfsburg? Wolfsburg. All the best. All the best at Wolfsburg, mate. Hope you do well. Just confirmation of a couple of deals here. We have got Francisco Trincao. He is in. 2.5-star current ability, 5-star potential. We brought him in. Again, it's mainly as cover. He's going to be backup, but I think he is going to do the job very nicely indeed. He can play on that right-hand side. We can play him on the left as well. He looks good. We're going to make sure that he's all welcomed in by a Portuguese colleague in Rafael Guerreiro. We've also sold Matteo Mori for very, very little. Man United wanted him, which was a bit of a bizarre one. And Mats Hummels, he's not very happy. I don't really understand why, but he seems to be okay about it. Nah, that's a weird one. I don't understand that. We're approaching the point where I want to play a couple of friendlies again. I'm not going to do that in this episode. It will be in the next one, but I want to push on to just before those games, just to see if I can get a couple of transfers through that would definitely improve the squad, certainly a lot more than Trincao has. And the first of those transfers is in. It is Luis Felipe from Lazio. We paid a fee up front of, I believe it was 7.5 million. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but the overall fee is going to be around 25.5 million, but very little of that is up front. 3-star player, a current ability, 4-star potential ability. We get a B- for that. I'm very happy with it. He's going to be a great addition to our defence. He might even be our new starting centre-back alongside Mats Hummels. Just one more transfer to go. We are about to go to the friendly against the Dortmund second 11, which I have got nothing to do with. It's still my assistant manager. It's the next game that we'll play, which is going to be the one in the next episode. So, fingers crossed we beat our second 11. Yeah, thankfully we did beat them. Well, this is a bit of a problem. This is kind of my fault because I didn't really check this out, if I'm honest, but could be out for up to 2 months. Hopefully it's not quite that long. Yeah, we've got to do the first 2 months possibly of the season with only 3 defenders. Ooh, that's my mistake. And I'm still waiting for that final transfer to go through. I'd quite like it before I play the first friendly that I'm going to manage. That would be ideal. So the final transfer we were hoping would come through before our first pre-season friendly that we are taking in charge of hasn't come through. So this is going to be the end of the video. However, before that, I just want to show you the squad that I've got available for me in the first game I'm going to be properly in charge of. Yeah, turns out, if I just quickly turn these off, turns out there's a lot of players on international football, and there's a lot of players who have been given to me greyed out, who apparently can't even be at full fitness. So we've enlisted a lot of the B team, or the number 2 team, and a lot of the under-19s, is it for Germany? Yeah, under-19s. So we've enlisted a lot of those guys into the team. Yeah, we've got ourselves into a bit of a pickle with this one. Perhaps we chose the wrong pre-season friendly to play. Maybe we should have played one of the first ones. Maybe that would have been a glorious, glorious idea, but sadly not. That's not what's going to happen. We're going to wrap the video up there. Thank you very much for watching. The second episode should be up very, very soon after this one. So if you see this video and there's not an episode 2, hang fire, it will appear. But I really hope you've enjoyed the episode. I know this has been a bit of an introductory episode. It has been for me as well. Doing a video on YouTube is brand new to me, so hopefully you guys have stuck with me. Hopefully you have enjoyed what you've seen. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching me ramble on about the game, to be honest with you. And hopefully we can get off to a winning start in the next episode. Next episode, we'll have 2 friendlies, and we will play our first competitive game of football as well in the Cup against, I think it was Hansa Rostock. I'm going to leave that as a cliffhanger. We'll find out in the next episode. But if you have enjoyed, please leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content from me. And thank you very, very much for watching my video. Take care.